What's up, guys? Jay back with another action figure review. But before we start, if you like your reviews unbiased and real, please hit that subscribe button and check out the other videos on our channel because that's what we do. Also, big shout out to the Action Figure Geek subreddit, a very cool sub for collectors. So if you're not subbed, then get subbed. Today, we are live from New York Comic Con. Well, actually, we are not because New York Comic Con ended like over a week ago. But I was in attendance and I was able to pick this exclusive up from the Neca booth. And I was able to start the unboxing upstairs while waiting for the alien panel to start, but it did start and I had to finish later. We are unboxing the Neca TMNT Train Track Takedown Ultimate Shredder, or whatever you want to call it, man. I've just been calling him the Train Track Shredder. And there's a lot to say about this figure, so let's start with the packaging. So on the back here, we have some still photos of the figure being posed, and we'll talk about that later. But we'll also talk about why Shredder's wearing a train conductor outfit in the first place. But I really like this collage that they got here on the back, and I love that Neca strictly uses real photos of the toys on the inside and on the back of their packaging. On the side here, you got the old school TMNT logo right across, and then next to it, of course, is the title of the figure, Train Track Takedown. I think these Neca boxes are really cool. Once you open up the flap or the window, you got a really decent still of Shredder on the left with those folded arms. Everyone's going crazy over it. Yeah, we'll talk about that. And then here he is in figure form on the right. Taking a closer look, you see he's got a funny looking hat. He's got some overalls and he's got a bunch of accessories. It's a Neca Ultimate figure, so you know there's going to be a bunch of accessories, and I'm very much looking forward to that. Now this Shredder figure is based off of an appearance he did in an old episode of the 80s cartoon that was called Turtles on the Orient Express. But I think it only aired in like Europe or something like that, so it's not very familiar. But they, for some reason, chose that as the inspiration for this exclusive. I don't know, but it is what it is. Let's see what he looks like. Here he is in plastic still, but we see a better vision of this figure, and it looks nice. It looks really good in person. And as usual, Neca has done an amazing paint job. Accessories are packaged all nice next to him. I see we got some hands, we got what looks like a sword, and then there's some other train related materials. Yeah, overall, man, great packaging. Neca sticks to the same exact formula when it comes to the ultimate packaging, and I think it's fine. You know, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Everything looks good. But anyway, let's get him out of this plastic prison. Let's see if this figure looks good just standing up by itself. And there he is, man, Train Track Shredder. Wow, visually this is great. Visually, this does not fail. I am 100% happy with this figure visually. Now, I don't know who really wanted a train-themed Shredder, but there he is. You got it. He's there. This cartoon turtle line from Neca, though, is crazy, so I'm not surprised that they did this. He's got gray and purple striped overalls. He's got black boots. I like that you can see his armor sticking out from underneath his overalls. That's a nice touch. And as you see, he's got a lot of external pieces, which becomes a problem. All right, the head sculpt that he comes with is sculpted with a red bandana on his face. And he has an old school conductor's hat. Neither of them are removable, so don't try. And as far as the sculpt of the body, I'm pretty sure it's the same as the Ultimate Shredder from the Haulathon and all that, except this one has these overalls. And it's weird that it looks kind of silly, it looks dumb, but it also looks really cool. Like it fits him for some reason and it looks good. I don't know. If you collect this line, I'm sure you're gonna want this one. You're gonna be interested in getting it. But this is definitely not anyone's default Shredder. I don't think it's trying to be, but it's not. And as usual, the engineering on these Neca toys are not great. This is no exception here. This one has issues, and by the end, I was like terrified to even put it in any kind of position or pose. It was crazy. So looking closer at the head sculpt here, I like it a lot. He's masked up, so you can't really see his masked Shredder face, but this one has a red bandana. And like the rest of the turtle line, this figure has those like black outlines to kind of accent the cartoon look, and they look really good. They look really good. You see it all throughout his body, on the armor, and on his hat as well. Underneath the overalls, he's wearing like a gray tank top. And again, they're just mimicking his look here from the episode, right? This is not an original design by Neca by any means. The figure feels good, has a decent weight to it, and obviously this uniform doesn't stick out as much as his default Shredder attire, but the colors do look nice, and it's just a really just wacky, cool looking outfit, I guess. Now, I mentioned earlier the crossed arms that come included in this pack, and they're kind of the reason everyone wants this, because you can use those arms on your regular Ultimate Shredder, and who doesn't want a crossed arm Shredder, right? It's cool. Now, I had some major issues when I tried to exchange the figure's regular arms for the crossed arms. Almost immediately when I yanked at the arms to pull them off, the shoulders fell off. The gauntlets on his shoulders just tore off, and I thought they'd be kind of just able to just pop back on, even if they didn't stay fully, but no, nothing. And a couple of minutes later, to make matters worse, the gauntlet armor on his left arm falls off as well, and I don't know, it sucks, man. Both required some super glue to go back on and to stay on, and I hate glue, like with a passion. I hate glue. But I emailed Neca, and they quickly told me that I could mail the figure back to them if I want a replacement or if I want my money back. But I'm pretty sure this is out of stock still for now, and I'd rather just, I'd rather have the figure than not have it. It is what it is. As far as articulation, I tried my best, but at this point it was post-op, and I was just kind of scared to have everything fall off again. You get a double jointed knee. It bends back about that much. Nothing special. But it's all right. The boot has a pivot that you can see. It can go up and down. It goes all around. Not too easily, of course, because like I said, this is a Neca. The joints are like super tight. But it does go around when you need it to. Between the legs, we can see here, we have, you can see where the legs joint connect. Like you can see where the joints connect, and I don't like that. No thigh swivel on the Neca toys. You can spin the entire leg and the foot individually, but no thigh. And on his waist here, there's no spin or articulation really at the waist because the soft plastic of the overall does not split. And then on the legs here, they went full McFarlane, man. Full McFarlane. They gave us a bunch of pins, but it's all right. They blend in pretty well, so it's not too bad. And as far as doing the splits, he won't be able to do that because the soft plastic above the thigh, it doesn't really allow for the splits. So it is what it is. It is what it is. And I barely want to touch this, but he does have a lot of armor you need to see. Just be careful so yours doesn't fall off as well. His hand has a sideways hinge that allows for a little bit more articulation than normal. And then you see his arm gauntlet here. It's still loose. Even though it sucks that these fell off, I think they do look really cool. They look amazing. But these are an integral part to Shredder's costume. So you think with so many Shredder figures under this brand that they would find a way to have them just be one piece. The molds just be one solid piece. If they're not supposed to come off, I don't see why you would make them a bunch of separate pieces that are just poorly glued together. And I admit that did kind of hinder my opinion of the figure a little bit, but I think that's well deserved. On Reddit, I saw a lot of other Neca collectors say they've purchased Shredders in the past and it's the same exact thing. Unacceptable. Head tilts down that much, which is pretty good. Tilts up about that much, which is not good. Spins to the side easily, but to do the full 360, you kind of got to force it, but it does go all the way around. And there you go. That's the sculpt. Now let's talk about another small issue. I don't like false advertisement, man. I really don't. And so this pose that you see here that they got Track doing, yeah, what is this, Neca? What is this? Because remember earlier when I told you guys that there is no thigh swivel and you can't even make the figure do the split because the crotch and waist prevents the thigh from lifting when you position it a certain way? Well, I tried to do this pose here several times, and I'm sorry, no cigar. This is the close I got. And if someone else got this figure and they managed to hit the pose, I'll eat my words, fine. But I tried very hard, and this was it. But does that mean that these are computer generated images that they use on the box instead of real photos? I wonder. But look at this guy, man. He looks good. He does look good. I can't lie. As mad as I am about all this technical stuff, I really do think this is a nice figure. Aesthetically, of course, more than anything, but it does look really good. Neca keeps proving that they make the best turtle figures. Moving on to the accessories, this is the best part for me. This is the good stuff. Shredder comes with a bunch of train related accessories like a pocket watch, a control switch, and a fusion supercharger, whatever that is. I don't know. But look at those arms, man. That's what is being held hostage with this purchase. You gotta get this figure if you want those arms. And you see he has an alternate head sculpt as well. I think Neca and Mezco are just the only companies that really understand the value of accessories. We got a pair of alternate hands here. Two pairs of alternate hands. The one has closed fists, the other has spikes attached. This one has a small paint defect, which I don't like, but it's fine. But I like these hands. The spikes are very soft plastic, so they may be like a little warped. And I'd also assume that these can be used with any NECA cartoon shredder figure. I'd assume this is the first one I've ever opened, so I don't know. But these look good. No complaints other than that defect on mine. So he has 3 pairs of hands in total for this figure. There you go. Then we have his second head sculpt. This one, of course, does not have a handkerchief over his face. So it's just his regular shredder mask face that hides his identity anyway. But you still get the goofy conductor hat. So I like this a lot. It's very well painted. And if you turn it around on the back of the sculpt, you see here they kind of molded in to make it look like it has creases. And I think that's really cool. Then we have the sword. I don't know why I have not watched this episode, but I assume he must arm himself with this at some point. It looks good, and of course you can give it to any of your figures from the line. Just a cool sword to have. Cartoon. And then I have no idea what this is. I'm gonna assume it's the fusion supercharger, which I'm assuming is a bomb. I don't know, it looks like a bomb. But yeah, you get this and it looks good. Looks good in photos, whatever it is. Then we have what I'm assuming to be the laser. I've been using it with him as like a gun, but I'm sure in the episode he uses it to like laser open his train or something. It's very small and it has a simple design, but very cool. Looks cool in his hand. Then that means this must be the control switch. This looks good too. It's a nice blue color, and any of this stuff I'm sure can be used like with Donnie in his lab. Then we have the pocket watch. Be careful because this is tiny. Once you lose it, it's going to be gone forever. But you can put it in one of his hands. He kind of just holds it. He can look like he's watching the time. And finally, those arms. I won't be attempting to put these back on this train track shredder, but I will try to put them on Ultimate Shredder once I open it. Hopefully the same thing does not happen with the gauntlets, man. And these look good. It's all sculpted as one piece, and it's painted right where the arms are crossed. Putting these on were a little difficult because you can't really see if the pegs are going into the base, and then you can't swivel either of the arms. So you can't really see what you're doing. I don't know why they bothered to make the joints articulated if it's just one solid piece. But yeah, man, once they're on, they do look pretty good. And if they look good on this figure, I assume they look even better on the Ultimate. So yeah, some pretty good accessories here. I had fun taking pics and posing them with everything, and I always see the accessories from this line as like general for all the figures. Like you can get them all together and just mix and match and just have a good NECA TMNT party. And at this point, NECA just keeps showing why they do this TMNT line. They do the best. They release some of the best accessories with them, and all the figures look exactly how they look from the show, which is pretty cool. Real quick, let's look at some height comparisons. Before I give y'all my final thoughts, let's see how Shredder stacks next to other figures. You know what's interesting too is every time you think NECA is done and that they've released all they could release based off this cartoon line, they pull something else out. They find something else. They have like a Baby and Mama Bebop and Rocksteady now. I don't know, man. I don't know what they're doing, but man, I really am torn about this one. I love that I was able to pick this up personally from the NECA booth at my first con experience. It was very good. It was cool, and I love the way the figure looks, the idea behind it. I love what they were going for. So for me, it's a positive. I'm not mad at it. I just really wish they used some better glue on these attached parts so that I wouldn't end up having to patch this thing up myself. But like I said, bro, NECA was more than willing to fix the problem. I just didn't want to risk not getting it back because it's not in stock. So it is what it is. For me, it's a 3.5 out of 5. If not for the issues mentioned, I think I would have no issue giving this a perfect score. I also wish the articulation at the torso and the legs were a little bit better, but I'm not gonna knock that. I'm not gonna knock it for that because it's a special edition shredder. It's not a Spider-Man. I'm not, it doesn't need to do a bunch. So it just needs to look good, and it does. It looks really good. If you're a TMNT collector, this is also sold out on the website right now, so you would have to get it resale. I think it's going for like double the price. I don't know if that's worth it. It's up to you. But also, if you miss out on this one, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Guys, thanks for watching. Be good. Please check out the really cool photos that we took, and also don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you like your reviews unbiased and real. Take care.